Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, welcome. If not, welcome back. Today I want to share some thoughts about what happens, in my opinion, with Jerome, with the Philippines, with everything. Because this video is not only about Jerome. Jerome, in my opinion, it's a door. What's behind that door, it's the real story, in my opinion. When people see Jerome, or the first time like I was, they usually, everybody reacts the same way. You're just wow, and then there is the smile. Everyone, they are impressed. Some of them are in disbelief. Others say the same sentence over and over again, like I said it. Wow, wow, wow. Or he sounds just like Elvis. How is this possible? And they're not wrong, of course. The voice, the tone, the control, how humble he is. And even if at the beginning wasn't there, now it is, and I'm happy for that, the confidence. And some way Jerome managed to, I don't know, give you that feeling that it feels familiar, comforting, and almost impossible to be true. But here's the thing, in my opinion. If this video was only about Jerome, I wouldn't be needed to be only with me talking, because how much I appreciate Jerome. And for me, Jerome is not only the story. Like I said, Jerome, it's the door, and what's behind that door is something really big, and it's something really deep, and sometimes I guess it's more unpleasant than people realize. And we already talked, Jerome, for Jerome to appear on talent shows, how it will be. Everybody will be in shock. Judges will be smiling, comments exploding, a lot of YouTube channel reactions, unbelievable talent, natural gift, born to sing, all that kind of stuff. But I don't want for Jerome, to be only a moment, because the moments are passing, and new contestants arrive, and new videos go viral, and the world moves on. And I don't want that, because Jerome is not just an artist to just pass. Jerome is much more than that. And maybe a lot of you are asking, why Jerome is so good? I guess the real question is, why are there so many that are so shocked? Jerome is one of a kind, in my opinion. And there is a pattern, in a way. A lot of people try to imitate Elvis, right? Hundreds, thousands maybe. But there is a thing that I want to put, a headline. The thing is the Philippines. If you ever watch, the talent shows like The Voice, AGT, X Factor, blah, 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 you will see a pattern. Filipino singers show up everywhere. Italy, I saw them on my other channel. I have some reactions. UK, Australia, Middle East, Asia, they're everywhere. Different ages, it doesn't matter how old they are. Different styles, different voices, different approaches, everything. But there is the same reaction from the people, from the audience, from the judges. How is that possible? I remember when Jerome walked on the stage of Bulaga, at least the first time I saw him, I was in shock, of course, but he didn't carry only Elvis for me. He carried culture, history, and maybe a dream that millions of Filipinos share. Even if they are, not being on that stage, or will never be on a stage, unfortunately. But Jerome carried that. And here's where most people are really misunderstanding everything, in my opinion. They think Filipino singers are good because they just like music. After a lot of videos that I made with the Filipinos singing and culture and everything, I'm thinking something else. The surface level, it's another one. In the Philippines, singing is not entertainment. What I've learned that in the Philippines, singing is language, is survival, is identity. In many Filipino households, music, it's everywhere, I saw. Not as a background noise, but as presence. Songs are played. I saw during celebrations, the karaoke thing, during whatever, it doesn't matter. Music, it's everywhere. During a heartbreak, during a family gatherings, Christmas, whatever. Music, it's always there. It doesn't matter what happens. Happy moments, sad moments. You don't just, you guys don't just listen to music. You have it inside. And I don't think there is a nation out there which is like that. And going back to Jerome didn't wake up one day and decided, okay, today I'm gonna sing like Elvis. He grew up in that environment where voices matters. There is the DNA, of course, as well, that like you guys have it. But voices matters, emotion matters, expression matters. Music itself, it's another organ in your body. Where, I don't know, singing, it's one of the few ways of be heard. And that's something talent shows never explain. We have the video where we tried to see what will happen with Jerome if we will go. Maybe I'm going to leave the card at the end of the video. But they want performance. They want the applause, but they don't show the years behind the voice, the struggling that those people have. And okay, let's talk on the uncomfortable part. If talent alone was enough, Jerome right now at this hour will already be a global star. Even if for me it is. If only the voice alone was enough, Filipino will dominate the international music industry. But they don't. And it's frustrating for me. I'm mad about this. But it's not happening because they are not enough or good enough. This is where the real story, in my opinion, that I wanted to share with you begins, because Jerome represents something bigger than success. He represents the potential without the help, without the system. Talent without infrastructure, emotion without industry support, and millions of dreams without and waiting for a door that rarely opens. Because, living in a country, different kind of country may help sometimes. And I know I had some questions in some of my videos that I'm trying to answer right now. And a lot of you were asking, I have it over here, why does the Philippines produce so many incredible singers? It comes from Joseph from the United States. And for me, the answer has nothing to do with anything. It's genetics. It has to do with culture, with pain, with faith, with resilience. And if you are really want to understand why Filipinos sing like this, you have to forget the talent shows, because a lot of comments, yes, I want to go see him on The Voice. Yes, I know it could be a big ramp for Jerome. That's why we reactors and me and my colleagues are really important, because we make Jerome, and not only Jerome, a lot of other Filipino talents be known out there. But let's just for a moment forget the stage, forget the lights, forget the applause, because the real thing doesn't happen over there with those things. It happens really much earlier, in my opinion, and it in much similar places. Because what I understand from my reaction and the culture in Philippines, music enters in your life before you even realize it. Even if it's karaoke, it doesn't matter. Not through lessons like a lot of people doing at school, not through theory, not through expensive schools, but through people. And it's the only country I saw something like this. Most Filipino children, I saw, like I said in other videos, grow up hearing somebody sing. The mother, the aunt, the grandfather, the sister, the neighbor. And you know, someone always sings, and it seems damn good. And you know, it doesn't matter if it's not on a radio, because to be professional or perfect, but it has something that is the most important thing. It sings emotionally, and that's the first secret. Repeat, this is my opinion, guys. You can not be agree with this. Because Filipino singers don't learn to sing the first note. They learn to sing feelings. Think about it, like I thought about it. Many Filipinos homes, you know, like I saw in some videos, in some documentary, don't have a lot of space, don't have silence, don't have a lot of privacy maybe sometimes. A lot of family live close. Like I saw, I repeat, I'm talking about only of what I saw through my reactions. But living close like that, emotions are shared. And when you grow up like that, you don't hide what you feel. You express it. And singing becomes the safest way to do that. Doesn't matter the problem, but it becomes the safest, in my opinion. You can say things in a song that you've never said out loud. Pain, love, regret, hope. And I can make a list, I don't know, a lot, a big list. Then I know I saw, like I said in the documentaries, you guys, with the church, a massive influence that, you know, the church has, your belief, which is something beautiful. In the Philippines, I saw that churches are not just a religion. It's the community, it's the routine, it's the structure, it's the beauty of Filipino people. And I guess most importantly, it's the singing. I fell in love with the Philippines because of the singing, because of the voices. And you know, my last video on the channel was about a reaction that you guys asked me before I come to visit. And there was that person that was saying a lot of things, not good things about Philippines, but I don't believe that. Because I know this country has a lot to give, not only through the people, not only through singing, but a lot, in my opinion. And I saw some karaoke singing where they were like, you know, kids from really young age that they are learning already something powerful. Not only to be humble, but that voices matters. It can fill a room. It can move people. It can make you belong somewhere. And this creates something rare. That's why you guys are so rare, in my opinion. Confidence without arrogance. Expression without shame. And talking about the karaoke thing, that I was so impressed. I have that video where it's drunk karaoke. Maybe it sounds funny until you understand the role. I think karaoke in the Philippines is not only for fun. It's not a party trick. It's practice. It's like I said, feelings, because in every home, in every street I saw, in every gathering, there are microphones are everywhere. And that saying, don't give a Filipino a microphone because he's gonna blow your mind off. And it's a beautiful thing when you see people sing in front of the others constantly. With no fear, with no stage frighten, with that beautiful smile. You don't wait for permission to sing in the Philippines. And that's something amazing. That amazes me for how I am. I don't know. Over there, you take the mic, you just do it. And that's beautiful. And, by the time somebody like Jerome steps on the big stage, he was already singing in front of, I don't know, hundreds of times, in front of his family, friends, not judges, not producers, real people. And here comes another layer, maybe a heavier one, in my opinion. Like I said, you can say whatever you want in the comments if you're not agree. The Philippines is a country built on resilience. This is what I saw. Because you guys struggling economically, I know, separation from family for people who are working abroad, typhoons, millions grow up, like I said, without their parents, they went to work abroad for a better life. And I guess singing and music becomes a connection, a way to feel close when people are far away. And this is something that here, in other parts of the world, a lot of audience don't realize. For many Filipinos, singing is not a dream. It's hope. Hope for a better life, hope to help their family, hope to, how should I say it, escape limitation. That changed how you sing. You don't perform in the Philippines. You mean it, you feel it. And this is the answer to the question. That's why Filipino singers sound almost every time better and better. And a lot of them older than their age. Why a 13-year-old, kid, doesn't matter, boy, girl, can carry the weight of a lifetime in their song? They're not pretending, they're translating experience into sound. That's why when we talk about Jerome, he doesn't just sound like Elvis. He understands him. Because when Elvis had a lot of songs, when he sang a lot of time pain, isolation, loneliness, happiness, and those emotions exist everywhere. Not only, in everyday life. And yeah, of course, especially in places where life is not easy. And here it comes a paradox. This emotional depth creates incredible singers, but it doesn't create an industry. And here it's a really delicate subject for the Philippines, in my point of view, because we're going to talk, I'm going to talk, if you are still here, about the talent shows, like we said, and why Filipino dominate them, and why for the most time they don't win. And you know, in my opinion, both of them are opportunity and the trap. In my opinion, talent shows change everything. Talking about AGT, The Voice, X Factor, whatever got talent from whatever country, doesn't matter. For the world, they are only entertainment. But if we're talking about Philippines and Filipinos, they are escape routes. And because let's be honest, if you're born in the Philippines, you don't grow up thinking, I'm gonna be famous. Or not that it's a bad thing thinking like that, but you know how there is, and not only the Philippines, maybe in a lot of other countries, your first thoughts, I guess, it's how do I help my family? And that's the big difference. In other countries, you know, Western countries, singers often chase expression, fame. Filipinos singers chase opportunity. So when a talent show appears, it feels like, I don't know, maybe the destiny, or you know, one audition, or one yes, or one miracle. And yes, okay, Filipinos dominates these shows. In my opinion, and anyways, I don't want to talk about Simon Cowell and all that kind of stuff, and because they deserve to win not only one talent show, maybe all. And they dominate them not by accident, but because talent show reward exactly what a Filipino can bring: emotion, vocal power, control, story, humility. And yes, we saw a lot of, you know, judges cry, audience cry, videos go viral, millions of views, whatever. But it happens something strange, right? Because when those things happen on these shows, afterwards, there is nothing. And you say, how is that possible? The pause ends, the season ends, and most of contestants, unfortunately, disappear. And you're gonna say to me, I know when I said it, you know, Jessica Sanchez won AGT. Yes, okay, she was living in the States. I'm talking about a Filipino come from Philippines, sorry, and really be there on the stage and winning that damn contest. Because I received, like, I don't know, 500 comments. Jessica Sanchez, yes, I know. But it's not about that. It's bigger than that. And it's the thing that pisses me off, because a lot of people are thinking with the Philippines, and maybe some other countries as well, but they are not as good as the Philippines. Anyways, and when this ends, for a lot of Filipinos, hurts more because the stakes are higher. A contestant that comes from another country or Western country goes back to school, to work, normal life. A Filipino contestant often, I'm not saying all, he or she went all in, with heart, with everything. Maybe money spent, family, you know, that are really hoping, future expectation just crushed. And, you know, we can talk about the money as well, because there is things that really, you know, I mean, everything, it's about the money. And I'm sorry to say that for the Philippines, the Philippine music industry, unfortunately, in my opinion, of what I saw, it's really small. Streaming play pays little, local labels have limited power, and international reach is rare. And there is something else that people maybe don't like to say out loud. I'm gonna try to do it. Unfortunately, connections matter more than talent. And politics exists, favoritism exists, just like, you know, everywhere else. But in some not developed that big countries, the impact is brutal. If you don't know the right people, if you don't belong to the right circle, if you don't fit in a market label image, your talent stays local. And that's why, like I said, a lot of my colleagues, a lot of other reactors are really important, that they are making reactions not only to Jerome, but to a lot of Filipino artists, that is karaoke or whatever, for the world to know them. It's really important. And you know, it's a shame, because no matter how good you are, this creates this cruel circle. You know, it's unfortunately these small infrastructures, they don't invest, and it's really shame. So that's why talent shows become the shortcut. And you know, the lottery ticket, the gold ticket, how do you want to call it? And this illusion that one performance can change everything, sometimes it does. Yes, okay, I'm not saying that, but most of the time, what it does, most of the time, think about it, it doesn't, unfortunately. Even if that girl or boy or whatever it is has a lot of talent. And a lot of other people don't make this kind of videos, and I'm sorry about that, because I'm curious to know their opinion as well. And there is another thing. When a Filipino become famous, you know, or go international, AGT, The Voice Abroad, whatever, viral audition, they are often celebrated but not supported, you know? And because the world loves the performance, but not enough to build the artist. And what happens next? Go back home. To have success abroad, it's really hard, and maybe sometimes can create envy. You know, politics, gatekeeping, silence, a lot of other things. So many Filipino singers they're living in a strange limbo, if it's the right word, I don't know. Famous, but broke. Recognized, but unsupported. Admired, but not supported and stable. And this is why many of them end up overseas, working. I don't know. I have a documentary here that brought me to tears, and seeing Filipino work on cruise ships, hotel, bars, or making a cover band, not because they failed, because they needed to live, to survive, to provide for their families. And this brings me back to Jerome, or bring Jerome back to the picture. Jerome is really different. because, like I said, for him, it's not only singing. He carries a legacy. Elvis, yes, but Elvis is not just music. Elvis is identity. Elvis is timelessness, is branding, is real. Because Jerome, when he sings, like I said, it's real. That gives Jerome something rare, a clear narrative, in my opinion. And narrative survives longer than talent shows. Or Itbulaga, if you want to put that in the perspective as well. The winner of Itbulaga, whatever. But even with that, the system, it's still too fragile in the Philippines. And it's a paradox, because the industry in the Philippines, they say, wow, we produce like from nature world-class singers, and a lot of people love them. A lot of people will want to hear them, go to their concerts, and still nothing happens. And that brings me to ask myself the uncomfortable question: is talent enough anymore? It's a hard question. Or why the Philippines creates legends but not stars? And it's sad. For me, it's sad, because I'm a person that, if you didn't saw that already, I really appreciate music. And this is what I'm thinking about. I mean, the Philippines produce some of the best singer on earth, and yet they're struggling, and yet they're not on the international stages. And a really few, I don't even know, becomes really, a global star. But those one, it's not about talent, because talent, it's overflowing. I know Bruno Mars has heritage, okay, there are some of them, but can compare how many talents are in the Philippines, how many beautiful voices and talented people. I mean, come on. It's really frustrating, at least for me. And singing in the Philippines, like I said, it's cultural. It's a culture, it's DNA. So you think, okay, Alex, you love so much Philippines, they are so good, so good, so good, so what's missing? Because these are the questions that I made myself, I was thinking. And let's compare. Look at South Korea, okay? The K-pop thing. So the K-pop thing, it wasn't an accident. What happened in over there? It's the whole system. The government supported massive investment, training academies, branding from day one. And there was a global strategy. This is how I see things. K-pop idols are engineered to success internationally, not just locally. The image, the visual, the narrative, the commercial that it's behind this thing, this K-pop. And now let's look at the Philippines. Incredible voices, maybe, like I said, the best on the planet, but no system. No system, of course, like, there are no things, like I said, from South Korea. No system, no global strategy, no international branding machine, no long-term artist development, and it becomes just a raw talent throw into the world and hope for the best. And Filipino singers are trained to sing better because they are born like this. Korean idols are trained to become brands. And I don't want that for Jerome. I don't want that Jerome, and not only Jerome, a lot of other singers from the Philippines, to become brands. you know. And this difference changed everything. A global star today is not just somebody who sings well, in my opinion, and there are a lot that don't sing well without auto-tune and a lot of other things. Today they are a story, a look, a lifestyle, an Instagram page with all luxury things. They become a message, you know. And the sad truth is that many Filipino singers are thought to be humble, grateful, and which is beautiful. No, it's something outstanding. But the stardom requires, unfortunately, how they built all this industry, it requires something else. It requires confidence, promotion, control, even arrogance, and a lot of money. The industry rewards people who demand space, not those who politely wait for permission. And this is, I guess, the most sad thing. That's why I want to give on my channel the more space I can to Filipino singers, to Jerome, and you know. And let's go back to Jerome for a little bit. Jerome doesn't complete he doesn't complete the same area that I'm trying to say here. He's not chasing the charts. He's not persevering to be an icon, if I can call it like that. And that gives him protection from a lot of other colleagues of mine who are trying to push him out there. And because yes, he has a lot of voices, and Elvis, like he does it, nobody does it, and Elvis is timeless. Jerome doesn't need the trend, because the trend expires. We talk about that at the beginning of the video. Legends don't. But even so, the Philippines still, you know, struggles to export that identity, which is a really shame thing, a sad thing. Because, so, like I said, Filipino singers often succeed when they represent something like, I don't know, a Western classic, an American soul, Broadway, an Elvis, maybe Sinatra. We have Royal Carino, who does it amazingly, you know, as Matt Monroe as well. But like I said, you know why Filipinos, when they sing stories and history, and the world's listen. Not because the stories are beautiful or the words are beautiful, but because they are not watermarked. They are something that comes from within, and that's a really, really big difference. That what happens in the Philippines, and that's why it's so beautiful. Not only the people like they are, we're talking about music here, and like I said, guys, I don't know if you feel it like me, and I'm sorry that they are not investing in this industry a lot more money, you know, because you can do everything with money, I know, but in the Philippines, should they can make, I don't know, music to be music again. I don't know if you understand me what I'm talking about. Even if I'm a really, you know, metal guy, I love music, and music is the universal language. And yeah, I really hope and pray that this will change. Philippines has, for me, a lot of respect, and I will try to promote not only Jerome, like I said, because this video was about a little bit of everything. I'm gonna try to promote every single singer from there, like I did in Italy. It happened like a couple of days ago. I have it on my other channel. You can find the link down below. A 13-year-old at The Voice was over there. Yeah, at The Voice, just sang Sinatra, my way. He did it in an amazing way. If you want to go on the other channel to see it. So everything you guys do, it's something really outstanding with the music and everything. And I'm still gonna try to promote, like I said, singers, and try to understand more about your culture, guys, because it's outstanding. I'm sorry that I made this video too long talking. I hope you are still with me over here. If you stay until the end, say it down below in the comments, and I really appreciate it. Okay. There were other things to talk about. Maybe I'm gonna do a live, or we're gonna have this kind of videos. I really want to know your thoughts down below. What do you think? If you agree, not, just share it with the rest of us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. And like I always say, till next time, stay safe.